Hello students, welcome to this another session. This is JEE Main Test 103 and I am with the physics analysis. The paper is a good one. It's not easy because the easy question, direct questions are only 6. 16 are medium, in which you require some good concepts, even some integration things and all, and 3 questions I have regarded as tough. So paper is not an easy one. It's a time taking one. It would be not that a cakewalk for all of you. And the yesterday's session I received very nice feedback from you. Thanks for liking that, and I hope it was something meaningful for you. If you have not watched it, please watch it. The session titled I Can and I Will. Okay, let's start the paper. Okay, before starting the paper, so the scores I can say there's 6 and 8, that is 14 questions. So 55 plus would be a decent score for anyone, and for those who are doing very good, 80 would be the score again in the paper. So score can be there, but again I'm telling, for the students who are not that comfortable in physics, this paper scoring about 30 marks would be tough even. So let's begin. When a hydrogen atom is raised from ground energy level to excited energy level, then so when it goes to higher levels, we know kinetic energy decreases, but the potential and the total energy increases. So going by this, option A is the correct one. Potential energy will increase while the kinetic energy will decrease. Second, the de Broglie wavelength of an electron in the ground state of the hydrogen atom is. Now de Broglie wavelength in the ground state of atom is, we can directly go, the de Broglie relation here says 2 pi r is equal to L lambda. So for the ground state, 2 pi r is equals to lambda, so lambda is equals to 2 pi r. Go for option B here. That was the de Broglie explanation of the angular momentum quantization of the Bohr model. Body of mass m moving with speed v suddenly breaks into two pieces. One have a mass m by 4, it becomes stationary. So what would be the velocity of the other one? So since no external force is acting, applying conservation of momentum, mv is equal to m by 4 into 0 plus the remaining mass is 3m by 4 into v final. So its v final will become, directly you can say, that is 4v by 3. Go for option D. Now let's start. A diminished image of an object is to be obtained on a screen 1 meter away. So you need a diminished image on a screen. That means a real diminished image that cannot be formed by a concave mirror, that cannot be formed by a a convex mirror and a concave lens. So concave lens and convex mirror goes. Now for the case of concave mirror, if you have to get a diminished image on the screen, so if you place a mirror like this, so the screen distance should be lesser. So if you place the screen before the object, it won't form the image here. So it's not feasible, I suppose, here. Okay, so the thing remaining is convex lens, and you know, for the convex lens to get a real image, the distance of the screen should be greater than equal to 4f. So the focal length must be less than equals to d by 4 in this case, and equality holds when the size is same. So equality will also not hold. So in our case, f should be less than d by 4, or it should be less than 0.25 meters. So convex lens of focal length less than 0.25 meters will work for you in this particular case. This theory you work in your displacement method that you study. Certain series RC circuit is formed using a capacitance, a capacitor without dielectric having a capacity 2, battery EMF 3. Circuit is completed, allowed to attain steady state. After this, at t equal to 0, half the thickness is filled with dielectric K equal to 2. System is again allowed to attain a steady state. What would be the heat generated in the capacitor between t equal to 0 and t equal to infinity? So first of all, what we will have, initially the charge which is being supplied by the battery or the Q on the system in the initial steady state was equal to, you can directly say CE, that is equal to 2 into 3, that is equal to 6 coulombs. Now finally the capacitance will become, because of this d by 2 thing, we will write now epsilon naught A d by 2k plus d by 2. So if you do that, this comes out as k is what is given as 2. So it is epsilon naught A d by 4 plus d by 2. So it comes out as 3d by 4. So this becomes what it becomes 4 by 3 times c equivalent initial c, that is 8 by 3. So the final charge in the steady state would be 8 by 3 into 3, that is equal to 8 coulombs. So the charge which is being passed through the battery, so work done by the battery delta Q would be equal to 2C into V, which is 3 volt, that is 2 coulomb into 3 volt, that would be, you can say, 6 joule. So work done by battery is 6 joule, and what is the energy change? Delta U would be U final minus U initial. Final u you will write as half, final c is 8 by 3 into v square, that is 9 minus half into 2 into 9. So what you have, you take 9 by 2 is common, 8 by 3 minus 2, so it comes out as 2 by 3, so it comes out as 3 joules. So this change is 3 joules, that means the heat generated would be equal to 3 joule, that is the remaining work of the battery. 3 goes in capacitor, 3 goes in heat. That is what you can do. Next, ring of mass m is free to slide on a fixed smooth horizontal rod attached to a particle of mass m kg by an extensible string of length L. Initially both are at rest and the string is vertical. Horizontal velocity is imparted to the particle. The maximum height up to which the block will rise with respect to its initial position is given, m is equals to 2m. So you have to find this case. Now since the rod is smooth and it doesn't exert a force horizontally on this ring, so if I consider this ring and particle as a system, so no external force here, so horizontal component of the momentum must be conserved. That means when it would be at the highest position, even when it is at the highest position, it will have some velocity, I can say, along this horizontal direction, let's say v final, and in the limiting case we will say this will also have this velocity v final. At that instant it would have moved forward also, and we can directly go from momentum conservation, m v naught would be equal to m plus m into v final at that point. So that v final or v you can write would be m v naught upon m plus m you can write. So this is v, and if you write it as 2, this will becomes as 2 v naught by 3. So the final velocity is 2/3. So what I can now make out, the loss in kinetic energy. The loss in kinetic energy, initially it was half m v naught square, finally it would be half into this 3m thing you can write into 4 v naught square by 9, and this m was 2m, and this v naught square would be v naught square minus what it becomes 4 v naught, half into 4 v naught square by 3, so it becomes m also. So half m v naught square I take as common, 2 minus 4 by 3, it is 2 by 3. So half into 2 by 3 m v naught square, and that is equal to the rise in potential energy mgh. So h would be what we have now, 2 goes m by m into v naught square by 3g. So this comes out as v naught square by 6g. Go for option C in this particular case. So this would be the answer for us. Next, thin circular plate, mass m, radius r, density varying with radius. Okay, mi of the plate about an axis perpendicular to the plate and passing through its edges alpha m times r square. The value of coefficient alpha is, I think we did it before also, let me do it again. So go at a distance small r and take a small ring of dr thickness. So first of all, from symmetry cm will be at this center, so I calculate moment of inertia about this. So di would be dm into r square because it was a ring, and dm would be this density sigma r, if it is given as rho naught r. Area would be 2 pi r dr into r square. You can write it as 2 pi rho naught r to the power 4 dr. So the moment of inertia about cm of the complete one would be integrated, 2 pi rho naught will come out r to the power 4 dr from 0 to r. So you get it 2 pi rho naught r to the power 5 by 5. Now this is about what you say, this is about the cm1, and also if I integrate this mass factor only, so that r square will go out, it will become 2 pi rho naught r square dr if you do this dm integration only. Okay, this is from 0 to r, this again 2 pi rho naught, it comes out as r cube by 3. So what we have now, so what I can write now, 2 pi rho naught I can write as 3m by r cube. So it is 3m by r cube into r to the power 5 by 5. So this is 3mr square by 5. This is I about cm. So passing through its edge would be applying parallel axis theorem, it would be 3mr square by 5 about cm plus mr square. So it comes out as 8 by 5 mr square. So the option here will be C. You can go for. Next, binding energy per nucleon for deuterium helium is given. I have done it many times. It would be 23.6. I am not doing that calculation, you can do yourself. A monkey of mass 20 kg is holding a vertical rope. Rope will not break if a mass of 25 kg is suspended, but will break if it exceeds 25. What is the maximum acceleration? So what we can say, when it goes up, the T max in that case, or the T in the case when it goes up, you can say would be mg plus a, because T minus mg is ma, that should be less than equal to that 250 Newton, I can say. So 20 into 10 plus a should be less than equal to 250. So 10 plus a should be less than equal to 12.5. So a should be less than equal to 2.5 meter per second square. Go for option A here. Next, let the end correction or the end error, what you call it, on the LHS and RHS be equal to 1 centimeter. For the balance point at O, find out the percentage error in the value of x. If the end error is 1 centimeter from both ends, then it means that the correct reading will become 10 plus 1 from LHS and 90 plus 1 from the RHS. Okay, and here I am not given any value, so it would be 10, I suppose. So as per the question, this x1 by 90 as per them would be length 1 will become 10 plus 1, the other will become 90 plus 1. Directly you can go for in this case. It means the error in the value of the x will be okay. So it is giving you an idea how you will calculate that particular error in that particular case. So what we should do in this particular case, conventionally you take that L1 L2, you take error in both, but I will go by what it is saying because it is telling you this is the answer. So as per this, the true value should be 11 by 91 into 90, and if you forget that, in that case that x you calculate, if you forget that end correction, you call it, let's say, let me call it as x and let me call it as x dash. So that x dash, if you forgot that would be 10 by 90 into 90, that would be 10 ohms, and now it is not 10 ohms. So what is the error that you will be getting in that particular case? So that percentage error thing you will calculate as, this is the actual value and this is the value if you forget that end correction. So the error, the difference that you will have to calculate that error, so that would be 90 common, 11 by 91 minus 1 you can write, minus 1 by 9 you can say in that case, or you can write it as 10 by 90, that would be better, divided by the value that you were expecting, that the value you were expecting, that was your 11 by 91 into 90 you can do. So you can subtract it out. So if you subtract it out, this is the error into 100% that I can go for. So what you have now, so it would be 11 by 91 minus this, so this would be 1 minus, if I do, it would be 10 by 90 into 91 by 11, this is the whole thing into 100%. So what it comes, it is 1 minus, if I do this goes 91 upon 99, 91 upon 99 into 100%. So it is 8 by 99. So 800 by 99% you can go for. So that would be approximately 99. It would be, it's almost 100. Okay, so it would be 8%, approximate 8.1. That is the closest one I can go for. Next, a symmetric star-shaped conducting wire loop is carrying a steady state current I as shown in the figure. The distance between the diametrically opposite vertices is equal to 4a. Then what you need to find out? Question is not given. I think it is it wants to calculate the magnetic field. That is what I can get a feel. It should be the magnetic field it wants to calculate. So now due to symmetry, if I, let's say, join it like this and join it like this and join it like this, you can make it out. Each of the section will have same angle, and we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. So these all angles are 60 60 60. You can make it out. So this all subtends an angle 60 degree here, and symmetrically if I do this you can make it out from the triangle. This would be 90 degree, this is 90 degree, that means this angle is going to be 30 degree. So this angle is going to be 30 degree here. So now what we have here, let me first check this section. Okay, this section, or better let's say yes, check this section now. So what we have, this length, first of all we need to check an idea of the length so that we can make it out. So this whole length is 4a, so this half of the length will be 2a, this length is going to be 2a, this length is also going to be 2a. So this is 2a, this is 2a. So let's say if I, for any of this wire, if I draw this perpendicular over here, what we can make it out, that perpendicular is like this, or no need to draw this perpendicular even, I think. For calculating the field, what we need, if this is the point and this is the wire, what we need, we need the perpendicular distance from the wire. So perpendicular distance from the wire, if we need to calculate, it will be something, this is the wire, so if I join it like this, this would be the perpendicular coming like this, something from here, this would be the perpendicular distance. I can make it out, so that if this is 90 degree and this length you know is 2a and this length is is 60 degree, so this perpendicular distance, this r perpendicular, let's say of this wire 1, will definitely come out as 2a cos 60, which is a. So r perpendicular is a. So if I calculate the field due to 1, it would be mu naught I upon 4 pi r, that is a. Now angle subtended here will be this angle. If I take this, will be again due to symmetry, it comes out as, if I can make it out, this angle will be 30 degree, and what we will have, this angle, this particular angle, if we talk about, this will be, this is 30, 60, that would be 120 degree. So what we will have, cos 30 degree, and we will have as cos 120 degree, that is what we can write, plus cos 120. Cos 120 will become negative, so that is mu naught I upon 4 pi a. Cos 30 is a root 3 by 2, this becomes minus 1 by 2, so root 3 minus 1 by 2. So what it becomes now, it becomes mu naught I upon 8 pi a into root 3 minus 1, that is what you get B1. Now the net field would be, due to all these symmetric, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can do this 12 times. So 12 mu naught 8 I 8 pi a root 3 minus 1. So what it comes out, it is really getting tougher, or it was a time taking one, you can say. So what we are getting at, it is 6 by 4 is what I am getting, root 3 minus 1. So I think B option is the appropriate one as per this. So it was a time taking one. Next, particle A of mass m initial velocity v collides with B of mass m by 2, which was at rest. Collision is head-on and elastic. What is the ratio of de Broglie wavelengths after the collision? Okay, so you have to check the momentums only after the collision. So this was mv plus 0 is equal to m times v1 plus m by 2 times v2, that you can write. And what you can write, v2 minus v1 says the separation speed would be equal to approach speed v minus 0. So put it like that. So v2 value I put it, mv is mv1 plus m by 2 v2 I can write it as v plus v1. So what we get, this we will get mv by 2 here, and here I will get m plus m by 2 into v1. So v1 will come now as 2 and 2 will cancel, it would be v by 3. So v1 will be v by 3, so v2 would be 4v by 3. So the p1 momentum would be mv by 3, the p2 momentum would be m by 2 into 4v by 3, that is 2 mv by 3. So because it has momentum double, so de Broglie wavelength would be half, because lambda is inverse to p. So lambda 1 by lambda 2 is p2 by p1, that is 2 is to 1. So go for option C in this case. Next, diesel engine takes in a mole of air at 300 Kelvin 1 atm and compresses it adiabatically to 1 by 32 of original volume. Considering air as diatomic, the change in temperature will be. So simply Tv to the power gamma minus 1 you will use. So 300 into V naught to the power gamma minus 1, that would be 7 by 5, you take 7 by 5 minus 1, that is 2 by 5, that you have would be equal to T final into V naught by 32 to the power 2 by 5. So this T final is 300 into 32 to the power 2 by 5, that is 4 times 300, you can make it out, that is 1200 Kelvin. So go for option B in this case. So the answer is going to be, what we can say, 1200, but what is the change is asked. Okay, so don't go for 1200, be careful. Change is T final minus T initial, that is 900 Kelvin. Final is 1200, change is 900. If a fully charged capacitor with initial charge Q0 is connected to a coil of self-inductance at T equal to 0, the time at which energy is equal. So it is like the SHM, the energy is equal when it reaches A by root 2 at time T by 8. Directly you can make it out. So T by 8, T is what you get, T is what you have, that is 2 pi 1 upon root of LC, that you write. So that becomes pi by 4 root of LC, 2 pi under root LC, that you write. Omega is 1 by root 2 root LC, so that is pi by 4 root LC, you will take that. Next one, Cooking vessel on a slow burner contains 5 kg water, unknown mass of ice in equilibrium at 0 degree at t equal to 0. Temperature of the mixture is measured at various times and the result is plotted as shown in time. During the first 50 minutes, okay, the mixture remains at 0, that means ice is melting. From 50 to 60 increases to 2 degrees Celsius, neglecting the heat capacity of the vessel, the initial mass of the ice is, okay, so let it be m. So what we know, m into 80, that is the heat that requires a latent heat, that is equal to the constant rate. Let's say we assume that rate to be p, so p into 50 minutes. Now for the next 10 minutes, what you will have, both will be water, so water is 5 plus m into specific heat is 1 into delta T is given as 2, that is equal to p into 10 minutes. That is what you can write. So now what you can do, divide both of them. So 80 times m upon 2 times 5 plus m is equal to 50 by 10. So what you have, this is 580, that is 16, 16 is equal to 10 plus 2m, 16m, sorry, 16m is equal to 10 plus 2m, so 14m is equal to 10, so m is equal to 5 by 7 kg. You can go for option B, that is what you can do from that case. The mass density of a spherical body is given by rho at r is k by r for r less than equal to r and a rho r0 for r greater than r, where r is the distance from the center. The correct graph that describes the acceleration of a test particle is a function of r is. Okay, so you have to basically check the gravitational field only. You have to find the gravitational field variation, that is the acceleration force upon mass. So how you will find, you know, that a gravitational field like the electrostatic field would be g m enclosed by r square. So m enclosed, you go at a distance x and take a small thing, you have to check till r not capital R, m enclosed till small r for the inside point. For outside it would be 1 by r square, you know, so outside, you know, I am checking for the inside point. So going by this, that enclosed mass would be integration of this rho is k by x in this case into 4 pi x square dx, integration from 0 to r, that will give you m enclosed for inside point, that will give you 4 pi k x dx integration, that will give you r square by 2. So in that case, m enclosed is proportional to r square, so m by r square would be a constant, so it could be constant inside and 1 by r square outside. So go for option A in this particular case, because if you put it, this will become as constant for inside point. Next, if a linear density of a rod of length 3 meter varies as lambda is 2 plus x, the position of the center of the gravity is going to be, so again that integral, you know, xcm would be integration x dm upon integration dm, taking elements like this from 0 to go to x and take a dx. So what we can say, x into dm would be lambda dx means 2 plus x dx, 2 plus x dx, it would be 2 plus x dx, take the limits from 0 to 3, so what you have, 2x would be x square plus x square, that is x cube by 3 upon 2x plus x square, limit from 0 to 3, so it would be at 3, 9 plus 9 it will become, and it becomes 2 into 3, 6 plus 9, that is 15, 18 by 15, you can make it out. So it comes out as 18 by 15. Let me check, I am not getting a feel that it should be correct. Let me do it, check it again. 2x is x square, x cube by 3, so 9 plus 9, that is okay. 2 plus, and this would be x square by 2, okay. So I got a feel that I was doing some mistake, because logic says it would be greater than L by 2 and it was coming less than L by 2, so I can recorrect myself. That is how you should also work. So 6 plus 4.5, this is 10.5. So basically it is 36 by 21. You can make it out. 36 by 21 is 12 by 7. So go for option B, it is greater than 1.5, that would be feasible. So it is 12 by 7 meters. Next, from the top of a tower of height 50 meter, ball is thrown vertically up with a certain velocity, hits the ground 10 seconds later. How much time does it take to cover a distance AB where A and B are 2 points 20 and 40 meter below the edge of the tower? Okay. First of all, it takes 10 seconds after it is being thrown up. So whatever it's thrown up, thrown vertically, okay, it is thrown like this U. So it goes up and down. So if I do this complete journey from, let's say let's say O to, let's say P to Q. For this complete journey O to P to Q, we say acceleration is constant, so taking upward direction as positive y, and this is his origin. So displacement is minus 50, that is equal to u into t is 10 plus half a would be minus g into 10 square. So minus 50 is 10u and this will come out as 100 minus 1000 by 2, that is minus 500. I can make it out. So 10u comes out as 450, so u comes out as 45 meter per second first of all. Now how much time? These are the points A and B here, 20 and 40 meters down. So first of all let me calculate the time to go from A to A and then O to B and subtract the 2 times. So for O to A, same equation we will use, minus 20 would be equal to 45 into T1, let's say minus half g, that is 5 into T1 square I can write. So what it becomes, 5 T1 square minus 45 T1 minus 20 is 0, I can take 5 common, T1 square minus 9 T1 minus 20 equal to minus 4, minus 4, I can make it out to be 0. So we have to put the quadratic formula, no other option. 9 plus minus, I'll write plus only because minus, let me try both. 9 plus minus, this is 81 plus 16, so it would be plus only, negative is not possible. So what we have, this will be 9 plus this divided by 2. So 9 plus root of 99 by 2, this is approximately 19 by 2, I can make it out, it would be closer to 9.5. let me check again, we'll see as per the calculations. Now O to B would be minus 40, would be 45 T1 minus 5 T2 square, T2. So here what you will have, T2 square minus 9 T2, and here you will have minus 8 equal to 0. So what we can have here, again we have to put that quadratic formula and the result will be the same. It would be 9 plus 81 plus 32 here upon 2, so it is 9 plus 2 and 1 3, 8 and 3 11, 113 by 2. So again this is the difference. If I have to do T2 minus T1, the difference comes out as 9 by 2, 9 by 2 goes root 113 minus root 99 by 2. Now what should I do? I know this would be, let's say at max would be 11, 11 minus 10, 11 minus 10, that is 10 by 2.5, so it would be lesser than 0.5 because it is 2 less from 121, so it would be lesser than 0.5 and I'll go for 0.4. That is the only way I can make it out this because I don't have a calculator in the examination. Next, kinetic energy of a particle going along a circle of radius r depends on the distance as like this, okay, the forces. So here it is going in circle, kinetic energy is changing, so AT will be there, AC will be here, so force FT will be there, FC will also be there, and I think we have done this question previously also. So kinetic energy I can write as half mv square, that is A square, that is what you can write. So if I have to do that, half mv square is this now, so V directly comes out as S into under root of A by root of 2A by m, that is what I can write. Now, so centripetal acceleration you know would be equal to V square by R, that is 2A S square upon mr. This is what we have. So for the force acting is this is acceleration, so 2A S square by R, this is only FC, so this won't be the answer. Okay, next, what would be AT? Now AT you write it as dV by dt. So dV by dt, if I have to do, it is function of S, so it would be better dV by ds into ds by dt I can do. ds by dt you know is V, and dV by ds, if you do, this is simple root 2A by m, and ds by dt will give me, that is V with the S into root 2A by m. So what you have, this is S into 2A by m, that is what you have. So this Ft force will come out as 2As. So this is Ft, this is Fc, so definitely it would be F would be under root this. So what I can do, I can take out 2As common, it would be under root of 1 plus what we have, this will become 2A S square, so it would be S to the power 4 by R square, that is what we are getting, it is should be S to the power 4. So it should not be like this. So as per this probably none of the option is coming because it should be S to the power 4 upon R square, that should be the case, but let's say we will go with this, we don't have any other choice. Zener diode connects to a battery and a load as shown, the current IL will be, so what you have, this is 10, so that means this voltage would be 10 over this, so 10 volt is this, so what would be the current over this? This IL will come out as 10 by 2 milliampere. Directly you can say that is 5 milliampere for first of all, and you are left with only one option from here only. So you can check it, otherwise what you will do, now this is 10, this will be 50, common sense, Kirchhoff's law. So the current I would be 50 by 4 milliampere, that is 12.5 milliampere. So go for this, and the difference would be IZ. So A option is correct. I think this is a question previously came in some examination. Actual JEE main or NEET, I suppose. Particle of mass m is projected at angle 60 degree with a speed of 20 relative to the ground from plank of same mass m, which is placed on a smooth surface. Initially plank was at rest. Okay. The minimum length of the plank for which the ball will fall on the plank itself will be. Okay. So here it is a very nice question. Now when it goes forward, definitely plank will shift backwards, and still there is no external force along the horizontal. So if you are thrown it by yourself, so the CM will stay at rest. So CM will stay at rest, so the distance it goes forward, it will go backward. So let's say if it goes a distance, let's me say if this goes R here, so it will go R backward, you can say. So the plank will shift here. So it was thrown here, it will come here. So if this was your R, basically you can say the plank will shift by this distance, what you can say, not R, it would be a better thing, what I can say, the distances goes forward, the plank shifts backward. So if this is the point, so the plank will shift, so the plank will shift like this, okay. So it lands on the plank, sorry, let me do this, it would be like this. This was the plank, now the plank will shift back and it will go forward, and in the limiting case what we can have, it lands here. So it lands here. In the limiting case, we have this length will be L by 2, because the distance it goes forward, the plank has to go backward, because both have the same mass. So what we have now, so the minimum length of the plank for which the ball will fall on the plank itself will be, so this L by 2 would be the length, the range formula you know is that a formula that you remember is u square sine 2 theta, you can write. So that is u square sine 2 theta by g, that is what you write here. So what you will get in this particular case will be, what you will, this is 400 into sine of 2 theta, sine of 2 theta is sine 120, that is root 3 by 2, and g is 10. So what it becomes, so the L by 2 will be, and this is 20 root 3, so L would be 40 root 3. I'll go for the length of the plank equals to 40 root 3 meters in this particular case. Next, capacitor of capacitance 10 microfarad is connected to an AC ammeter. If the source voltage varies like this, the reading of the ammeter would be, so first of all, what would be XC? XC is what you write as 1 upon omega C. Omega is 100, this is 10, micro is 10 to the power 6, so it is 10 to the power 3 ohms. So the current read by ammeter, first of all, what we will say, Imax would be 50 root 2 upon 1000 milliamperes. So IRMS would be 1 by root 2 of that, that is 50 upon 1000. Okay, 1000, no need to do that, because this would be now in for milliamp, this is ampere, sorry, this was ampere, so this is ampere, so I can write it as 50 milliampere. Go for option A in this case. Simple application, you just remember the AC ammeter voltmeter measures the RMS value. Uniform wire length L, mass m stretched between two fixed points keeping a tension F. If a sound of frequency mu is impressed on it, the maximum vibrational energy existing in the wire when mu is equal to, okay, so it is stretched between two fixed points keeping a tension F, a sound of frequency nu is impressed. So maximum energy, that means that would then when it would be in resonance, so that mu would be equal to the frequency of that, the fundamental you can say. So mu is equal to V by 2L. V is what you have, F upon mu is m by L, and that mass per unit length upon 2L, that what you can say. So this mu comes out as what it comes out as, it comes out as 1 upon 2, and if I take it up, it will become F upon ml in this case. If I take it out, so it would be F upon ml. Go for option D in this case. This is a resonance concept. Find the closest integer wavelength value of K alpha line in a copper picometer if the wavelength K alpha of iron is known to be 190. Now Mosley law says root nu is proportional to Z minus 1. So that means frequency is proportional to z minus 1 whole square, or you can say 1 by lambda is proportional to z minus 1 whole square. So what we can say, 1 upon lambda of copper to 1 upon lambda of iron would be, you can say copper was 28, this is 25 whole square. So you can make it out, this is lambda copper, I can make it out as lambda iron into 25 by 28 whole square, that is what you will have. So it is 190. So it is going to be 193 into 25 square, 625, 28 square, 784. And if you do this all calculation, it's not that easy, it will come out as 153.8 picometers. So it is the nearest integer will be 154. It is very calculative. I will use the calculator. It's not going to be easy to solve. Question is easy in concept but not easy in calculation. Calorimeter of negligible heat capacity contains 100 gram water at 40 degree. Water cools to 35 in 5. If water replaced by liquid of same volume as that of the water, but and it cools to 35, but now it cools in 2 minutes. Given water and the both specific heat like this, find the density of the liquid, given the answer in kilogram per meter cube. Okay, so what we have, the rate of cooling, if we talk about that, the thing that we write it is minus dt by dt is equal to k times theta minus theta s. This k you know is proportional to EA upon ms. So area, emissivity you are taking at same, specific heat and m is given, so you have to check this m into s thing. So from the things that we get for the water, what we are having, the change of 5 degree takes 5 minutes. This would be k for water, average theta will be same and theta surrounding is same. Here also 5 degree, but it is 2 minutes. K of liquid, theta average for this will be same, theta surrounding will be same. So if you divide it, you can directly say 2 by 5 is k of water upon k of liquid, and this k will be inverse of that, that is mass of liquid into specific heat of liquid into mass of water into specific heat of water. So directly what you can say, mass of water would be, mass of liquid would be mass of water 2 by 5 into mass of water, which is 100, specific heat of water 4200, and it is 2100. So it is 2. So it is 400 by 5, that is 80 grams. So it is 80 grams. So now what is the density of this? So it has a same volume of that. So what we have, volume is same. So 80 gram upon density of liquid is equal to 100 gram upon density of water, which is 1 gram per centimeter cube. So what we have, density of liquid will come out as 0.8 gram per centimeter cube, or you can write it as 800 kg per meter cube. So the answer here would be 800 you can go for. So in kg per meter cube, you can call it as 800 kg per meter cube. That would be the answer. Next, a slender homogeneous rod of length 12 floats partly immersed in water, being supported by a string fastened to one of its ends. The specific gravity of the rod is 0.36. The length of the rod that extends out of the water is KL by 10. What is the value of L? Okay, this photo might mislead us, so I draw it again. Let's say this is hinged like this. Let's say this is like this. Now this smaller length is outside, so where would be the CM? CM is here, and I know this distance would be equal to L. So this distance is also equal to L, you know. So first of all, the torque of mg that would be acting is, if I take this angle to be theta, torque of mg is mgl cos theta for sure. Now buoyancy force acts at center of buoyancy, it would be somewhere here, and it would be acting like here. So the center of buoyancy, if I can say, the distance from here would be, the length inside water is 2L minus L. So this length you can write it as 2L minus small l, sorry, by 2. This is the length 2L minus L by 2. So from here, if I calculate this distance again, this would be FB cos theta, but the length that would be coming here, would be this L plus 2L minus L by 2. I can write it out. So it comes out as FB cos theta I can cancel up, MGL FB I can make it as 2L plus L by 2. That is what I can do. So this is the first thing that I am getting, mg into L is coming out like this in this particular case. Now what is this FB? If I do this FB is what you can say rho Vg. Rho, what is the volume submerged? Volume submerged would be area into length submerged. Length submerged is 2L minus L into G into 2L plus L by 2. That is what I am getting. So this GG goes, and now what we have, are we given the mass? No. we are given the length at 2L, area is also not given, so I can write mass here as specific gravity is given, so rho of body I can write, this is rho of water I should write, so rho of body into A into 2L, that I should write into L, that is rho of water into A into 2L minus L into 2L plus L upon 2. So what we have, this A goes, and if I do this, this is rho of body upon rho of water is 0.36 into 2L square, that is what we have, or 4L square I do to take it here, it will become 4L square minus L square. So this L square thing is 4L square, 1 minus 0.36, that is 0.64. So this is perfect square, I can directly write it as 2L into 0.8, that is 1.6L. So L is 1.6L, 1.6L means 16L by 12. So this comes out as 16, so we are getting our answer. Next one. In a double slit experiment, interference bands are produced, a screen placed at 1.5 meter from two slits 0.15 mm are illuminated by this light. Screen is now taken away from the slit by 50 centimeter, then the change in fringe width. So in the first case the fringe width was lambda d1 by d, in the second case it is lambda d2 by d. So the difference would be b1 minus beta 2 minus beta 1, because that would be greater, that would be lambda by d, d2 minus d1. So lambda is 6000 into 10 to the power minus 10, d is 15 into 10 to the power minus 5, I can write d2 minus d1 is 0.5 meters. So 15, this would be 400. So what we have, 400 into 0.5, that is 200, and this is 10 to the power minus 5. So in millimeter it comes out as 2 millimeters, you can directly make it out. So the change is going to be 2 millimeters in this case. Next one, the last one. Stationary source emits the sound of frequency 492 Hz. Sound is reflected by a large car approaching the source with a speed of 2. The reflected signal is received by the source and superposed with the original. What would be the beat frequency? Again a standard one. What is the frequency that car receives? That would be f0. Car is going towards it, so v plus v car upon v. And what would be the reflected sound heard by the source? That would be, because here the source is at rest, so this is v, but this would be v minus v car, this is f car, sorry. And what is this f car? If I put it as f0, v plus v car upon v minus v car. So the beat frequency that we talk about, that would be f reflected minus f0, that is f0 common, v plus v car, v minus v car minus 1. So it comes out as f0 into, it would be 2 times v of car upon v minus v of car. So f0 is 492 and 2 times v of car, what is v of car? That is 2, and speed is 330 minus 2, that is 328, that I get. So 2244, I can take it as 82, and if I do this 82, this 82 and this is 6 82 6 is 492, I can make it out because 80 into 6 is 480, so 82 6 is 492, so 6 is the answer. And this completes our paper for today. Thanks for watching.